Alrighty, welcome back. This is episode 4 of setting up GitHub, and what we left off on the last episode was just running through the Git workflow, how you could use Team Syncer as part of your management for version control, and then also we need to set up the GitHub permissions. So let's go ahead and try to take a crack at that. I'll be honest, I didn't do anything between last episode and this one. In other words, I'm quite literally going to figure it out on the fly with you guys. Now I've done it before, but yeah, we're going to figure it out together. Okay, so looks like step one, we need to generate an SSH key, and we want to do that by using this command. But before we go down these steps, let's actually try one thing real quick, because it may just be this simple. If you come to your VS Code and come down here to GitHub, and if you don't have that, maybe look for an extension of GitHub. Let's see if this is an important thing or not. No, looks like these are just extensions that I've used. But there should be a GitHub here in your Explorer tab or your Explorer sidebar. And let's go ahead and sign in. So GitHub extension wants to sign in. So the extension GitHub pull requests and issues. Okay, perfect. So that if that isn't there, then yeah, it should be GitHub pull requests. Yeah, this one right here. Make sure to install this GitHub pull requests and issues. And that should be this one right here. So, and then after you install it, you may need to reload your VS Code. So close it down and then open it back up. Let's go ahead and try to log in to GitHub. So it's asking, can GitHub be authorized for VS Code? And I'll say go ahead and authorize that. And I'm getting this pop down. Can you open Visual Studio Code? I'll go ahead and open it. And I'll say open. And maybe because we went through all that, we don't have to set up all the SSH stuff. So let's try to steal this command one more time. And if you cleared out your terminal, don't worry. Just here's the command: git push -- set upstream dash set upstream origin main. And let's go ahead and try that one more time. So no, it looks like we still need to go through the permissions. I was really hoping we wouldn't have to. We thought that would be the easy peasy route. So, but we needed to do that anyways. So that's important. Let's run through this SSH command. So what I want to do first is open up my terminal, and I want to grab this command. I want to say run SSH keygen. So all of this, let me zoom in for you guys. SSH-keygen-T RSA-B 4096-C, and then in quotes, we want to put our email. Looks like, so I will go ahead and change these quotes to program with PAGS. Obviously, add your email that you signed up with GitHub with. programwithpags@gmail.com. Looks like that is the correct one. Okay, so generating a public RSA key pair. Enter file in which to save the key. Okay, so let's kind of figure this out together. Add SSH. Enter file in which to save the key. Okay, so I'll just say key. Well, let's actually Google this real quick. Enter file in which to save the key. Okay. So if you use a non-default file name, boom, 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 or by using SSH. Okay, guys. Well, let's read through this a bit more. Their file to save the key. I don't know if that actually matters. Let's go ahead and figure that out, I guess. The full file name in parentheses is the default. Nice. We're learning together. We're learning together. Okay, so it looks like we do want to get the file path name. So let's steal this right here, users, and then yours is obviously going to be different. But I think that's what they're saying to do here. Let's just go ahead and copy that in. Looks like he prefixed it with a C colon. So let's go ahead and do that. So C colon, and then steal this right here. Let's see if that'll work. And then enter a passphrase. I will save it as something simple. Obviously, you do your password, and then it'll ask for another passphrase, and I'll just enter the same password. Okay, it looks like it says no key or directory. So let's try that one more time. See how to do this. And then I will steal this line, this time without the C colon. It says it already exists. I have a feeling this is going to overwrite the key I already have for my GitHub, but that's fine. I'll gladly do that for you guys. And awesome. So it looks like it just overwrote it for me. And not a big deal, not a huge deal, but I'm just curious why it didn't have more steps. So let me try one more time, generating this key value pair or key pair. Overwrite yes. Oh, there we go. I just needed to press Y. So I'll add a new passphrase and then enter that password again. And this is going to be my SSH key that's generated from a SHA-256 algorithm. So let's do the next part. I believe we need to save it. So this is going to be the next part we need to do. So copy your SSH key to the clipboard. On most systems, it'll be here. Oh, I think I need to do this bit right here. So eval SSH agent in the background. I don't know if I need to do that. Don't recall that, but I do need to add it to. Well, okay, we'll just walk through the steps. So let's go ahead and do this. Agent PID 9315, and then let's do SSH add this command, guys. And I'll have all these steps as well in the description below. So I'll enter that same passphrase, and it looks like we are adding this identity. And then what I want to do, I believe, is go actually to this file we just generated, and then copy it. So I'm on a Mac, and if you're on a Windows, you're going to want to use this command. But for me, I'm on a Mac, so I'll say pb copy -ssh and get the public version of this key. So let's go ahead and copy that down. So it looks like it copied it down. And then I want to go to GitHub and paste it into our GitHub. So guys, that was a ton of work. Obviously that's a lot of work. Make sure that you walk through all those steps and figure out where you need to do which part. Because obviously, I just showed you firsthand that sometimes it's just figuring it out on the fly, But so I want to go to GitHub. If you saw that, I navigated to settings and then over here to SSH and CPG keys. And boom, there are no SSH keys in your account. So I want to go up to here to new SSH key. And I'll say my laptop. You can name this whatever you would like. And then I'll paste in that key right here. So this is what it looks like. Again, I'm going to delete this. Do not show anybody this. This is going to be an account I delete. But but do not show people this stuff. And you're going to need to go through those steps on any new machine that you have, or if you reset your machine, you're going to need to go through all those steps. So all I did was just paste it in there, and I'll press add SSH key, and it should take a moment to pair, but I do believe we'll see this turn green when we've done it correctly. So let's go back to ChatGPT and make sure we're walking through the steps. We don't really need to do all this config stuff. We already have a Git file. Let's try to go ahead and do this git push command one more time, and let's see if it works now. So git push -- upstream or -- set - upstream origin main. Let's see what we have. Still permission undenied. Okay. Let me see. Let me think about it. Let's see what we need to do. Should be there because we've certainly added a key properly. So one moment, guys. Let's keep figuring this out together. We've pasted it in there. Okay, let's try this config then. Perhaps that is one of the things that we're doing. Let me close out of that VS Code. Do GitHub, and I'll add pags for my username right here. So that worked there, and then I'll add my email. So I'll paste this in as git config. Oops. And then I'll add my email, programwithpags@gmail.com. Oops. And let's try one more time. Permission to program with pags denied to... Oh, you know why? This might only be specific to my GitHub, because this is trying to push to my real GitHub and not the one we just built. So you guys might already be working at this point. Let me try to kind of figure this out real quick. Let's see. So maybe if I sign out of GitHub and sign back in. Let's see. Is there a way to see which... No, it looks like I'm in a different or in the right GitHub. So one moment, guys. Try just to git push. So 403, that means you're not authenticated to do this. And I do believe it's because it's trying to push to my real, because that's my real username for GitHub. But this one is not the real one. So let me maybe clip the video, and I'll maybe come back in a moment. 1 second, guys. Okay, and we are back. So I think I figured it out. I had to do a few things. You guys more than likely are not going to have to do these things, but by the off case you do, I'll include these steps. So first is I added SSH-add-1 to identify which keys are being managed. Obviously, between my two accounts, I needed to see which ones. And then from that point forward, I just set my repository URL. So I actually didn't do this step quite yet. I first did SSH-add-1, and then you can see that's actually the key. Again, I'll delete everything on my machine. Don't show anybody these things. But then step 2, I needed to git remote set URL origin to my program with PAGS project. So I did that for this repository. Again, you guys should not have to do this every time. And you guys may not have to do all this. I just wanted to show you guys troubleshooting on the fly. And then finally, I tested the connection by doing this, by saying SSH-T GitHub, and then I entered that passphrase I had put for my key, and then it says I've successfully been able to access or successfully been authenticated. And then the next thing I did was just got to this step where I entered, oops, let me go ahead and drag this a little bit off screen, where I've entered now the push command to set up stream finally. You guys may not have had to do all this stuff. And then I just entered the passphrase, and let's see if it works. And boom. So it finally worked. When you guys did this step, it may have already given you all this. You more than likely did not have to do that roundabout deal. I, again, only had to do that because I had my previous account on this machine. So now that we've configured all that, we should be able to refresh this, and we'll see that this key is turned green. This is awesome. So this lets us know that it's connected with our machine, that it's working properly. And then better yet, we can actually go to our repositories now, and we should see our first project. So if I click this, we could see all of those files that we have on our machine, right? The files that we referenced over here that were on the laptop. So index.html, and I'll just put ... for the other ones. And we push them to the staging area. With a little bit of trial and tribulation, we finally pushed them up to GitHub. And now that we've done that process the first time and set it up, got Git downloaded on our machine, set up all the permissions, we should be able to replicate this process now very, very easy. So I'm going to show you guys that on the next episode, or the next part, if you will, and show you kind of the workflow on how to use Git. So I know that was a lot of configuration, but that preparation, all that preparation, first of all, good job for sticking with it. I know it can be tedious. But second of all, it's kind of a one-time deal until you need to set it up on a new machine. From this point forward, our GitHub should be configured, and our permissions are all lined up, and we just now need to use GitHub the way that it's designed to be used. So let's go ahead and do that on the next part. I will see you there.